Hey guys, tonight we push open a narrow wooden door at the edge of a medieval courtyard where a suspicious little stone closet juts out over a dark moat and the evening air smells well, historically accurate. A faint breeze drifts upward from below, and you instinctively step back, reconsidering every life choice that brought you here. A torch flickers against rough castle walls, illuminating a simple wooden seat with a round hole carved into it. It's humble. It's practical. It's deeply unsettling. You peer inside and quickly realize something important. You probably won't survive this. So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. And while you're settling in, comment below with your location and the local time where you are right now. I always love seeing where in the world you're listening from as we wander into the strange corners of history together. Now dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. You step fully inside the stone chamber. The door creaks closed behind you, with the kind of dramatic timing that suggests medieval architecture enjoys irony. The room is small, barely enough space to turn around comfortably. The stone walls are cold and slightly damp, carved into the outer wall of the castle itself. Beneath the wooden seat is a vertical shaft leading downward into darkness. This, you realize, is a garderobe. Mainstream historical fact settling gently into place. In many medieval castles, toilets were built into the outer walls so waste could fall directly into the moat, a pit, or a cesspool below. Gravity did most of the work. Plumbing, in the modern sense, was still centuries away. You cautiously approach the wooden seat. It's surprisingly sturdy. The wood is worn smooth from use, and the edges have been rounded by time. There's no porcelain, no polished metal handle, no reassuring flush. Just a hole. You glance down. You immediately regret glancing down. Far below, you can faintly hear the soft echo of dripping water. If this garderobe empties into the moat, that moat is doing far more than just defending the castle. It is multitasking in ways no one writes poetry about. An odd detail drifts into your mind like an uninvited guest. Archaeologists have discovered that castle garderobes sometimes had wooden rods or cloth scraps nearby for personal cleaning. In other places, people used moss, hay, or even smooth stones. Medieval toilet paper was less a product and more a creative decision. You shift your weight and notice something else. There is no lock on the inside of the door. Privacy, it seems, is a flexible concept. Scholars still argue whether medieval people were less concerned with privacy than we are, or whether they simply had different expectations of shared space and bodily functions. In crowded castles and villages, life was communal. Sleeping, eating, praying, often all done within earshot of others. Why would bathroom habits be dramatically different? Still, you can't help but feel exposed. A small slit window carved into the stone allows a thin ribbon of twilight to enter. From here, you can see the courtyard below. A stable boy leads a horse across the cobblestones. A cook carries a wicker basket toward the kitchens. Life continues, blissfully unaware of your current architectural dilemma. The breeze shifts again. You realize the positioning of the garderobe wasn't random. By placing it along the outer wall, castles used wind currents to carry odors away from living quarters. It wasn't perfect, but it was strategic. Medieval builders understood airflow more than we sometimes give them credit for. You rest your hand against the wall, feeling the cool grit of stone beneath your palm. The silence here is almost peaceful. The thick walls muffle the sounds of the castle interior. For a brief moment, this little chamber feels strangely private, almost meditative, until a distant splash echoes faintly below. You clear your throat. In larger castles, there were often multiple garderobes stacked vertically along the walls. Several toilets, one above the other, sharing the same chute, efficiency at its finest. It also means that timing mattered. You imagine the awkwardness of simultaneous use. Medieval scheduling must have required trust. You lean slightly toward the window slit, watching clouds drift slowly across the fading sky. The stone seat beneath you feels less shocking now. Almost ordinary. And that's the quiet truth you're beginning to understand. Medieval bathrooms weren't exotic torture chambers. They were practical solutions in a world without plumbing. Simple engineering. Stone, wood, gravity and hope. Of course, not everyone enjoyed castle-level convenience. Most people, peasants especially, relied on much simpler arrangements. But tonight, you remain here, suspended above a moat that has seen far too much. A bell tolls faintly in the distance. Evening prayer, perhaps. You imagine the daily rhythm of castle life: meals in the great hall, fires crackling in hearths, tapestries lining cold stone walls, and tucked discreetly along the perimeter, these modest garderobes doing their unsung work. There's something almost admirable about the design. Functional. Durable. Honest. You run your fingers lightly along the wooden edge again.